Very good morning to my students of class 10 ICSE batch chemistry 2022. Now today I would like to demonstrate the experiments, two experiments, experiment 17 and experiment 18. Experiment 17 is for distinguishing between copper oxide and manganese dioxide using concentrated hydrochloric acid. Okay, so before I begin the experiment, let me explain you and show you the instructions for doing the experiments. Okay, so here we go. On your screen you can see, you'll be able to see the PowerPoint where I have written down over there chemistry demonstration class. After this slide, on the next slide you can see experiment number 17. Experiment number 17, to distinguish between copper oxide and manganese dioxide using Kong HCl. Using Kong HCl. Now here I have taken two samples. Sample A and sample B. Now sample A, it is supposed to be copper 2 oxide, which is a black colored powder. It is a black colored powdery substance. And sample B is manganese dioxide, and sample B is also a black colored powdery substance. Now if you look at the first column over here, the middle column over here, to sample A, when concentrated HCl was added and heated, no gas was given out. But to sample B, when Kong HCl was added and heated, a greenish yellow colored gas is supposed to come out, and that greenish yellow colored gas is because of the evolution of chlorine gas. Now if you look at the second test over there, both these solutions were filtered into two separate test tubes. The filtrate from sample A was bluish in color, whereas the filtrate from sample B was brownish in color. Now to the filtrate of sample A, if we add ammonium hydroxide solution dropwise and in excess, it gives a deep blue solution. You can see over there, deep blue solution. Whereas to the filtrate of sample B, no precipitate was formed. So this is how to distinguish between copper oxide and manganese dioxide using concentrated hydrochloric acid. So let me show you the experiment. Okay. Now my dear students, I will be showing you the video. Please stay on over there with regard to this experiment number 17. Okay. Now you can see the screen. Now I have taken two test tubes. Okay. Both these test tubes contain a black colored powdery substance. This one, it is copper oxide. This one is copper oxide. Okay. This one is manganese dioxide. Both are black in color. Now I will follow the instructions given in the PowerPoint slide over there, and to them I am going to add concentrated hydrochloric acid to each of them and heat them separately. So I have taken Kong HCl. This is concentrated hydrochloric acid, but before adding I must use a test tube holder, okay, because I am going to heat it. Now to this sample A, which is copper oxide, I will add Kong HCl little bit. Okay, I have added Kong HCl. Now I hope you can see the flame. Yeah, it's okay, you can see. Now I am heating it. Strongly. Yeah, they can see. So when I heat it strongly, the color of the gas, it has no color. You can see it has no color. Okay, reaction is happening, there is no color. Because the reaction is happening between copper oxide and Kong HCl. The gas is there, but it is colorless. You can say it is colorless. Now I will add Kong HCl to the second sample, that is sample B, which is supposed to be manganese dioxide. The second one is manganese dioxide, this one. Okay. Now I will put the test tube holder, and to this I will add manganese dioxide. Both are black colored powdery substances. Okay. Now I am going to heat this as well. Both are powdery substances, black in color. Okay. The gas comes out very fast. Okay, you can see fumes are there. It is supposed to be light greenish yellow in color, but it is not. It will not be visible to you all. Okay. Now, what I am going to do is I am going to filter both these solutions. Filter it. Filter both of them, and then see. I can see over here it is greenish. On the top of the test tube it is greenish in color. So now in hot condition only I will filter both of them using a filter paper and a funnel. Separate filtration. Separate filtration. Okay. Okay. So filtration is happening. Filtration is happening. Filtration is happening. One of the residue, what you call the filtrate which is collected, if you can see, it is brownish in color. This is brownish in color. Brownish in color. Okay. The other one, if you see, the filtrate is slightly, bluish. It is slightly bluish in color. So the one which is bluish in color, it is supposed to be sample A. Sample A is copper oxide. It is copper oxide. Now I will take this sample A. I will take this sample A filtrate. Now to this sample A filtrate, we are supposed to add ammonium hydroxide solution and see the color change. We will add ammonium hydroxide solution and then we will see the color change. So I will add ammonium hydroxide to sample A filtrate. So this is ammonium hydroxide. It is a weak alkali, but I have taken concentrated ammonium hydroxide. I will add it dropwise first. I will add it dropwise first and see what is the color change. I can see some precipitate over here. The precipitate is formed. Okay. It is supposed to be blue in color. It is supposed to be blue in color. On the top there is slight blue precipitate formation on the top over here. Okay. So this is an indication that the sample, it is what? It is sample A, that is copper. It is copper. Okay. Now I will take the second filtrate. I will take the second filtrate. To this I will add again ammonium hydroxide solution. I will add ammonium hydroxide solution maybe in excess. There is no precipitate. This will dissolve. It will dissolve. Just a minute. Let me reduce the volume. If I add excess of ammonium hydroxide, it will dissolve. It will dissolve into a transparent solution. Okay, so this confirms that sample B, it is manganese dioxide, and sample A, it is blue. You can see there is blue precipitate which is formed over here, blue solution. So the sample A is copper oxide. So this completes your experiment number 17, which is how to distinguish between copper oxide and manganese dioxide using concentrated hydrochloric acid. Now, my dear students, let me share you the screen and show you the instructions for the next experiment, that is experiment number 19, where we are going to understand and see the test to determine the pH. Have a look at your screen. On your screen you can see there is experiment number 19. Experiment number 19 on your screen, to determine the pH of water sample by using pH paper. So here what is given, instructions are given. Take samples of water X and Y from two different regions in a hard glass test tube. So I will take sample X and sample Y containing water in a hard glass test tube or in a small beaker. A small beaker may be a 100 ml beaker. Now I will insert a pH paper into the water samples and note the color change. I will match the color with the color on the pH scale and then infer whether the water samples have a pH less than or more than 7, and accordingly I will do the observation for sample X and sample Y, and then finally I will infer from the color over here. For example, for blue color the pH is 12, which means the sample is basic. If it is red color, then the pH is 2, that means the sample is maybe acidic in nature. So this is the experiment number 19. Okay, I am not doing the unknown samples. I will do the unknown samples later on towards the end of this semester, where I'll show you how to detect by using qualitative analysis the identification of the unknown inorganic sample. So now let me share my screen and show you the demonstration for the samples to detect the pH of the water samples containing whether it is acidic or basic. Now on your screen you can see I have taken two beakers. Okay, both are colorless. I don't know which one is acid, which one is base. Okay, now what I am going to do is, this is a universal indicator paper. It is a universal indicator paper. Give me that cover, sir. That cover. Yeah, that one, container. This universal paper, it is available in containers like this. Okay, it was packed properly so that it doesn't get spoiled. Okay, now if you look at the universal indicator over here on these strips, there are two strips. There are different colors. For the basic colors, for the acidic colors, these are the color ranges, and for the alkaline colors, basic colors, these are the color ranges. So I will test the two solutions by using a universal indicator. Universal indicator is here. Okay, so this is how a universal indicator looks like. The original color is, it is orange, but I don't know whether you can see the color or not, but it is orange. It is skin color, human being skin color. Okay, so now I am going to dip one in one of the solution and show you the color change. I dipped in one of them and look at the color change. It has become red. It has turned red. Okay, it has turned red. So this means that this solution has turned red. This solution has turned the pH paper red, means we have to match the color of this red color on this scale over here, on this scaler. So if I see, it is somewhere between 1 and 3. It is somewhere between 1 and 3 over here, which means this beaker containing this sample solution, it is acidic in nature. It is acidic. Now I am going to keep this aside and take the second container, take the second sample solution. Okay, now, and I am going to dip the universal pH paper in this and show you the color change. So I am going to dip it. You can see, very nice observation. So you can see it has changed into blue color. See, it has changed into blue color, which means the sample solution is basic, strongly basic or alkaline. It has become blue in color. So it confirms that this sample, it is alkaline in nature. Okay, so this completes your experiment number 19. Oh, strip, yeah. So this has to be matched on the strip as well. If you look at the strip, this color I can match over here and get the pH value. It is somewhere close to this, somewhere close to the bottom one, and bottom one has a pH of more than 13. So color is matching. So we can say that this solution is highly basic or alkaline. Okay, so this completes your demonstration for the determination of pH of different sample solutions. Okay, so now, yeah, So if you look at the screen over there, I'll show you sample X. Sample X was basic. Why was it basic? Because the color of the pH paper became blue and its pH was 12. And sample Y, it changed its color to red. It changed its color to red because its pH was 2. So this completes your practicals for ICSE chemistry class 10. Okay. Now in the next classes later on, I will do the preparation for the inorganic analysis of unknown sample, identification of unknown sample, the cation and the anion present in the sample. So with this, I would like to end my video over here only. Thank you so much. Have a nice day.